Want to reverse this country's decline, we need to choose law and order over rioting and disorder.
We've got a Biden administration whose whole policy is appeasement.
No parent should ever wonder what's being said or taught to their child in the classroom.
Unlock American energy. Drill, frack, burn coal, embrace nuclear energy.
Our laws are being broken every day at the southern border, every day. And Joe Biden and his crew is doing nothing about enforcing that law.
We have to secure the southern border of the United States of America.
There's no doubt that Joe Biden needs to be fired. That's why I'm running for president.
Some sparks were flying last night at the second Republican presidential debate between all of the crosstalk that we saw, the jabs, the not so subtle digs. Were the candidates able to reach who really matters in the election? It's the voters, Sean.
It was a great debate, and it is the voters, so let's do that. We're here with, last night, our voter panel, which we hope to hear from the candidates, and they talked about that, and let's hear what they have to say after the fact. Joining us now is Air Force veteran and Republican voter Lydia Dominguez, Democrat voter Sammy Ravelo, and independent voter Doug Boyer. You all joined us last night. You were wonderful. Lydia, I'm going to come to you first. You are a Republican voter. Did anyone touch your heart? Did anyone move you in their direction in last night's debate?
I really like Tim Scott. I think his story is just resonating with me and just other people that really did not come from an elite family. I think Ron DeSantis did a good job, but I really like Tim Scott.
All right, I'm going to go to Doug because, Doug, you're the independent on the panel, and I think independent votes are going to be very important, possibly a swing factor in this election. So did you see anything that stood out to you? Did you see someone that you said, you know what, you would have my vote?
Absolutely. First off, I want to say congratulations to the candidates. They were all very articulate, very well prepared, and I love the fact that we were filled that stage with governors who had a record to go off of. DeSantis did a fantastic job pointing to his success. Nikki Haley did as well. I love the fact that she's mama bear in the group. But the one, again, that stood out to me the most was Mr. Scott. I thought he was fantastic with his background story.
Yeah, I like that, too. And I think you're right. You bring up governors, and governors are interesting because they've been executives. And you're hiring one of these candidates to be an executive of the country. Sam, I want to come to you. I think you have one of the most unique perspectives. You are a Democrat voter, but last night you told us that you're open, that you could be persuaded into the Republican category should you see the right candidate. Did you see anyone that made Sammy think, I could vote for that person in the 2024 election?
Well, I know somebody that I got a better look only because he was being attacked a lot by everybody else, which was Vivek. His stance on the Ukraine war and his it resonates to me. But two candidates that did not help themselves, in my opinion, were Mike Pence and Chris Christie. Mike Pence just went on and on and on too long on his answers, and Chris Christie just came off as somebody that I would not want to be president.
That's interesting because a lot of people were saying, you know, maybe it would be better if the debate stage was smaller. Maybe if to qualify it was higher and you got rid of, say, Christie, say you got rid of Pence, say you got rid of Burgum. None of them really seem to have a chance at this point, and maybe possibly even Tim Scott, because I didn't really feel that he came out last night making an impression. But Lydia, you think that he did. Doug, you also think he did over Vivek, over DeSantis, and over Nikki Haley. So I'm going to come back to you, Lydia. What was it about Tim Scott that you want to hear more from?
He's just more personable. He's just someone that, you know, has had a struggle in his life, and he's overcome it, and he's out saying, you know what, he's experienced racism, but America is not a racist nation. I thought that was so powerful. I thought Chris Christie had a lot of cringe moments, and Mike Pence, you know, I didn't like the comment about sleeping with a teacher for 30 years.
Yeah,
so that was
That made me actually uncomfortable. I can tell you what. So in regard to Tim Scott, I didn't think he did well in the first debate. He actually showed up last night. He got in the debate. He made his presence known and felt, which I thought, you know, led to his advantage per, you know, two of you here. So I want to talk about this. Donald, in the Republican primary, Donald Trump is leading by 40, 45 points. He wasn't on stage last night. So I don't know if any of you think you could vote for Donald Trump, but of the people that you saw last night, of all of them, can anybody bridge that gap to get to Donald Trump? And if not, could you support Donald Trump? So let's go with you, Lydia, first, then we'll go down to Sammy and then Doug.
Yeah, and I come as a voter that voted for Obama twice. I switched over, and now I'm a Republican. Trump would be my first vote, and then from there I would either go for DeSantis or Tim Scott, depending on where we are in the race at that point. But right now I really like Tim Scott, and I'm a huge supporter of him.
Interesting. Sammy?
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like we lost
I
Sammy.
think Tim Scott had the moment of the night.
Go ahead, Sammy.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I think Tim Scott had the moment of the night, definitely, with his stance on racism. I happen to think the same way. I believe that Vivek has an opportunity if he reaches the right set of voters. I think he would be the one that can bridge some sort of the gap. I can see myself voting for him so far.
And how about you, Doug?
I actually liked Tim Scott. I think he did great with the addressing the race, his background story, the smackdown on Ramaswamy that he did in the very beginning, kind of defined his moment that he was in there to win it. And I think that he's a guy who's going to represent America and not just his own personal interests. And as far as the whole governor versus business person goes, one of the things I was thinking about afterwards, running the federal government versus being a business person is you can have the greatest McDonald's operator versus that doesn't necessarily mean that they're able to run the entire McDonald's corporation. And so that's why I think we need to really take a hard look at these governors. And that's why Nikki Haley and DeSantis really kind of stood out to me. But I still really think Tim Scott is somebody that I'm going to put my
Could you get the Trump, Doug, or no? You're a never Trumper. No, you're not.
Oh, okay.
Not a never Trumper because I actually voted for President Trump.
Okay.
But I just think we need to separate ourselves from Trump and Biden right now.
But it's interesting, too, because as this process goes on, you get to know these candidates better. Even if they don't have a chance of getting the nomination, they might pair up with President Trump if he gets the nomination. So I'm looking at somebody like Nikki Haley, too, and saying she really stood out last night. She could be very strong for that role. Who knows?
You know, Sammy,
she knows international diplomacy, which is really important.
Yeah, I'm with Sammy. I'm with Sammy on Ukraine. I think Vivek is well-spoken. So maybe we're two Democrats or former Democrats. I'm a Republican, Sammy, but I kind of sided with you on that. I'm going to tell you what, Lydia, Sammy, Doug, you guys have been a great panel. Thank you for joining us last night, telling us what you're looking for, and today, what you saw and how it resonated with you. Great panel. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We are grateful.
Thanks for letting us talk.
Thanks for having me.
All right. You guys have a good one. All right.